My name is Doug Stevens, and like the man said, I'm a senior this year. So if I could have everyone in the audience right now, just think back for a second. When you were in 3rd grade, and maybe even 4th grade, what was it that you wanted to be when you grew up? I know a lot of my friends had dreams like that. Just think back, no matter if you're an adult or a child, what was it that your dream was? Well, mine never really changed since then. My dream has always been to one day save lives and protect others to the best of my ability. Now, I hope to accomplish this through military service primarily. Maybe even after that, police work, or fire and rescue, anything that can get me in a spot where I can help other people. So, the topic of this talk is dream big, then do it. Well, I have a big dream, but I'm not able to do it yet. See, the way I look at it is I have to build a bridge to get my dream out of my head into reality. So, everyone builds a bridge in their own way. Now, I started building my bridge when I was about in sophomore year, and I started to go to my first military training courses. Now, I found out really quickly that there are 4 main pillars you got to have in your bridge for it to really be successful. You have to have honor, courage, integrity, and perseverance. Honor is a big one. You have to be able to just dedicate yourself to what you want to do and give 100% towards your goal all the time to make sure it actually can happen one day. You have to have courage, because you're going to hit obstacles, and major obstacles sometimes. They're going to look impossible to overcome, but you got to have the courage to face those. You got to have integrity. Decision making is a big one, especially right now in what I call the bridge phase. There's going to come a time when you have to decide a choice, and it might be the right call or the wrong call. And yeah, now right away that might not have immediate impact on you, but later on it can come back. I know later in my life I'm going to get polygraphed for my careers. And they're going to ask me, have I ever even experimented with any illegal substances? And I'm going to be able to tell them calmly, no. Because I would never, ever jeopardize my career. And you have to have perseverance. Perseverance is a big one, because you've got to be able to keep putting one step forward on your bridge all the time, even when you don't know where it might lead. Now, I hit my major obstacle in my pathway about 2 years ago with my first military training course. I've been training for this course for about a year now, and about a month before I went there, I went on an expedition to the Arctic Circle with the school. It was amazing. I'd never really been away from home before, and it was a really great experience, but the time change was about 9 hours, and I just didn't get a lot of sleep because the sun never set up there. So I got sleep deprived pretty quickly. I was up there for almost a couple weeks. Now, I got back home, and I had a week before this course started. I thought I was going to be able to relax and kind of get back into my normal routine and get ready for it and get myself mentally prepared. But then something happened. We got a phone call at my house. My grandma was dying. At Thursday night, when I got back, I didn't even get a chance to unpack my bags before I went on an airplane to Cleveland, Ohio. My mom and I got there Friday morning, and we spent as much time as we could with my grandma before she passed away. She was passing away for a whole week, and we never left her side. That was a really, really tough time for me, mentally, emotionally, and physically still from my trip. On top of all that, I got the stomach flu while I was there. So now I had to deal with jet lag, sleep deprivation, and the mental stress of seeing my grandma pass away. Well, finally on Thursday night, a week after we left, she passed away. It was really tough for me, and for my mom. So we went on a plane to get me back the next morning. And Friday morning, I start packing for my next adventure, my first military training course. Now, the first day I'm there is something called Hell Night. Hell Night is the 24-hour test of endurance and just mental tenacity to push you to your limits and past them to see just what you have inside of you. These next 2 pictures you're going to see are all of me and my different classes I've attended. This was actually a picture from my first class. This is about 5 hours into that night on a log I'm cringing under. Well, I get there, and I'm being pushed to my limits from the get-go. Exercises, 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 non-stop for 24 hours. About 3 hours in, we get a 30-minute break. In that time, I called my parents and said, look, I don't know if I'm ready for this yet. I think I've just been through too much right now with my stomach flu and with just my everything, with emotional issues I'm having with my grandma passing away, and with just the sleep deprivation I've been experiencing. I'm already way behind. just in these exercises because of everything I've got before I even got to this course. They said, well, you know what? And a really calm voice, too, that I didn't expect. They said, well, you kind of have to stay. This is your dream. This is a pathway to your dream. You can't afford to leave now because it's a major step for you. You got to just push through it. I know you can do it because I've been training for almost a year for this course. So, reluctantly and a little bit skeptically, I said, all right, I'll keep pushing, I'll keep trying, not knowing if I was going to be able to do it or not, but I just kept putting one foot in front of the other the whole time. And believe it or not, 21 hours later, that day was done, and I was still standing. After that, I really felt like I could accomplish anything, because I just got through the largest obstacle I've ever had to face in any way. Those next 2 weeks of that course, they were difficult, but I never once again had that thought of, I don't think I'm able to do this. And since that day, that thought hasn't crossed my mind, because that showed me just how far you can push yourself, even when you think you have nothing left. That just, truly just, I don't know, lit a fire in me. That feeling of being able to do whatever it took. These are all pictures from training courses I've attended since then. I've been to 5 different courses now after that. I didn't know if I was going to go back after the first one. After thinking about it long and hard, I realized, yeah, this is a great path for me. I'm going to continue to go to these. And each one became easier because it rebuilt that mental fortitude in me, knowing I can do whatever I have to accomplish my goal. Now, getting across your bridge is really important. To me, one of the reasons I know how to be able to cross my bridge is by thinking about a quote that I love. Love what you do, and you never work a day in your life. Everybody who has a dream should find a job or a career that they can just look at and say, man, this doesn't even feel like work to me. To be able to wake up every day and be proud and happy that this is what you're doing. That's my hope, that every one of you finds a dream like that, and you're able to keep pushing through, building that bridge, using those pillars of honor, courage, perseverance, and integrity to get to that goal. I know I'll be glad I crossed my bridge because I have my priorities in order already. They're family, friends, and the people I'll get to interact with and help one day and work with. Connections in life. Money's not a major thing for me. I want to be able to make enough to lead a decent life, but not so much I need a big house or big TVs. I want to be engulfed in what I'm doing, my job. I want to talk to you all a little bit about a concept that's not too well known right now, but it's gaining popularity in the United States. This is called the sheepdog concept. The sheepdog concept basically states there are 3 types of people in this world. You have your sheep, which are honest, hardworking, good people, lead an average life and do their job and don't harm any other people. They're just good people in the world. And you have wolves. Now, wolves are people who are like terrorists, bank robbers, murderers, people who want to do harm to the good, innocent people in our world. Then you have sheepdogs. Now, these are special people. They're protectors. And the great thing about sheepdogs is they can be anybody. You would never know. They can be law enforcement, military, or just a civilian. That's the cool thing about sheepdogs. A great example of a civilian sheepdog came in 1982. A plane crashed from the 14th Street Bridge and went into the Potomac River upon takeoff. And this was in the wintertime, and the water temperature was in the 30-degree area. People were dying everywhere, and bystanders were lining along the banks of the Potomac watching this tragedy unfold. Rescue crews were trying as hard as they could to get these people to safety, but there were just too many of them in the water. There was this one lady who was clinging to a piece of ice in that frozen water for over 20 minutes. There was a helicopter above her trying to throw her a line to get her out of that water. And every time she tried to grab it, she let go. She tried as hard as she could, but she's been in that water so long, hypothermia had set in within minutes. She couldn't feel her arms anymore. People were watching this happen. One man who worked at the Congressional Budget Office on his way home from work just saw this happen and saw this lady in the water. And he, without thinking, jumped into this freezing Potomac, swam over to her, grabbed hold of her, grabbed the rope, and got her to safety. He was directly responsible for saving her life. he is a sheepdog, and he's just a civilian. That is what my dream is. I hope that one day I can make a career out of being a sheepdog. And I hope I'll be able to keep building my bridge using those pillars of honor, courage, integrity, and perseverance to keep going with that. And I hope all of you who have dreams or are trying to find a dream use those same pillars to keep going in your life and to keep building that bridge strong. I hope I also have shown you that crossing that bridge will have major obstacles, but nothing is impossible. Because I thought things were impossible, and I proved myself wrong. And I was able to get through those things that I thought I would never be able to do. Thank you very much.